Bitcoin on the verge of making history. Michael Saylor has single-handedly cornered the entire traditional financial market. And what comes next might leave you itchy and moist in all the right places. So if you're new here and ready for the era of a 6-digit Bitcoin, hit that like, subscribe, get signed up to Femex below if you want to buy Bitcoin or altcoins. And without any further ado, let's take a moment to absolutely oogle these charts where we see Bitcoin right now, quite literally at any moment, but probably by the time you're watching this video, being above $100,000 per Bitcoin for the first time in history. I distinctly remember the very first time Bitcoin broke $10,000 per Bitcoin back in 2017. It happened very quick. It broke 10,000 and it almost went up to 20,000. It kind of got rejected right at 20,000. It hit 10,000 and within what seemed like days, it had doubled to nearly 20,000. But that was the end of that bull market. This time things are, how do I put it, immensely different in every single way. So earlier today on CNBC, Michael Saylor went on and quite honestly, dismantled, destroyed. I truly, as I just said yesterday, Michael Saylor has been going on CNBC multiple times lately, like even per month, and explaining his strategy in detail. And for some reason, people, the hosts, and you can tell Andrew Sorkin right here, this guy, he like, I'll play the clip, but you can tell he's like asking question after question. You can tell he's like trying to understand it, I think. But this guy is straight up explaining his playbook, and still somehow the people on CNBC, these professional investors, these people that people listen to for some reason, and they probably shouldn't, they still aren't getting it. But basically what's happening here is, it's summed up right here. MicroStrategy is the most profitable company in the US and growing the fastest at the moment. In the last 2 weeks, making over $5 billion in Bitcoin gains, roughly about $500 million per day. What is the business of MicroStrategy? They're a Bitcoin treasury business. And what Michael Saylor explained is he expects Bitcoin to go up 29% a year for roughly the next 2 decades. And the market is buying Bitcoin 20 times faster than the daily issuance because the Bitcoin halving occurred just months ago, which limited or cut in half the daily issuance, directly contributing to an increase in demand and a decrease in supply. We either make, he said, $3 billion on this week's convertible bond or $30 billion if Bitcoin does what he thinks it will do. Basically meaning he's going to make billions of dollars regardless. He got a $500 million order to buy convertible notes in just a 20-minute meeting recently, just over the last couple of days. And every Bitcoin you don't buy will cost you $13 million in your future because he expects the price to be at least $13 million in the future. On Bitcoin's hourly chart, we see hidden bullish divergence and a liquidation cluster at about $100,000 per Bitcoin. A lot of short positions are built up around $100,000. So whenever it gets broken, whenever Bitcoin busts through that, again, I expect that the short liquidations and the price to, vastly exceed 100K. Whenever it taps 100K, when it actually breaks through 100K, it should be like lighting a little bit of a match, and Bitcoin should pump, significantly above that. We see as well, this was covered on CNBC this morning, how Bitcoin-backed loans will take over the financial system by reducing risk and volatility for pension plans. Insane. The entire financial system basically being built around Bitcoin. This is the first time these people are like hearing about some quote unquote crazy idea like this, right? Basically a small amount of Bitcoin added to a large amount of high quality credit. What can be accomplished with that is incredible. It can be a cornerstone to close the asset liability gap for pensions, according to the New Market Capital CEO. And you could tell, it was almost, again, like one of those gotcha moments, or like an eye-opening thing for all of the hosts on the panel here.
Bitcoin for 1 day, 1 week, it's extremely volatile. But for 4 years, 4-year hold period, the worst ever return has been just over 23%. The 5th percentile, 30%. The 50th percentile, 91%. So if you take a small amount of Bitcoin and you add it to a large amount of high quality credit in novel lending solutions, novel structured credit pairings, what you can accomplish from an asset allocation and an overall portfolio strategy perspective is incredible. It can actually be a cornerstone to close the asset liability gap in pensions.
Not only is that bullish, that's quite literally one of the most bullish things I've ever heard. But we also see, and this, I love this. So the SEC tried to destroy Elon Musk, and they've been going after him forever. Basically, now, when you could see his tweet to Gary Gensler's stepping down tweet yesterday, Elon very likely potentially going to do what he did with X. Fires half of them, fire a lot of them, make them come in. I think there should be huge restructuring at the SEC, at the IRS. I think all of these agencies should be gutted. And I think that they should start working to benefit the citizens of the US instead of the bureaucrats and instead of the criminals in government and in charge. And I think that's one of the most, I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin and crypto, but I'm also extremely excited on the changes that are possible because of the incoming administration in the US and what it seems like they're very interested in doing. We see about 2,000 Bitcoin, or about $220 million left in the Bitcoin sell wall between here and 100K. It's getting eaten. And over time, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time before Bitcoin completely busts through it. So also, this tweet is interesting. We see that Peter, Bitcoin bull rider on X, saying that the most profitable company, the best performing stock in the entire marketplace for 4 years running, an indefensibly large holding of Bitcoin, has the ability to issue billions of dollars of debt at 0% interest to buy even more Bitcoin, has literally the entire $350 trillion total address market, bond market as your customer, FASB accounting changes, the QQQ and S&P 500 index inclusion, and people are still saying that MicroStrategy's 3x NAV is a Ponzi. People shorting this, for example, Citron Research, who also took a short on GME and got destroyed. Citron opened a short position on MicroStrategy. All these weirdo Wall Street bets weirdos that don't understand anything, also opening up these short positions. Because again, why are they doing that? Let's be honest. Because they look at this chart and they say, wow, it's up a lot. Can't keep going up, but they have no fundamental understanding whatsoever of what exactly Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy are doing. And that's going to be their downfall. And again, maybe it'll take a week, maybe it'll happen tomorrow. The point is, in my opinion, this thing's going higher. It's like stepping in front of a freight train. If these people think that, shorting MicroStrategy right now, this type of environment with all the regulatory clarifications we've gotten in the incoming administration in the beginning of this Bitcoin bull market, man, it's just a recipe to get completely banged, right? Trying to short that. And as well, absolutely, I believe Bitcoin history is repeating. I believe that the entire crypto market, Bitcoin specifically first, is going to be lifting off here, just like it did in 2020. And I think this chart right here is going to end up looking very similar to this chart here from 2020. Looking at Bitcoin specifically, it's only a matter of time. It's kind of like people are having watch parties. People are watching this as Bitcoin dominance continues to rise, as Bitcoin continues to rise. 100K, whether it happens today, tomorrow, next week, whenever, it's coming and it's going to come fast. And I think a lot of people are going to get blindsided by it. Bitcoin is following exactly what we all knew it would do after the US election, despite the people that are a little less educated in the comments that have been saying that we're going to go down and, we're not going to break out. They're awfully quiet right now because they were wrong, just like they are every 4 years. This time, however, I fully expect that their amount of wrongness is about to be monumentally bigger than their wrongness in the past. I don't think even bullish people truly understand. I think a lot of them do, maybe. But I feel like even if you're bullish and you kind of get the concept, you kind of get the idea of the capital markets that are unlocked because of the Bitcoin spot ETFs, because of what Michael Saylor is doing, because of the spot options market now with Bitcoin, all of this capital that gets unlocked, it's never been even close to being the case in previous bull markets. We have never had these type of on-ramps for institutional capital. All of these previous Bitcoin bull markets were largely retail. And this market right now is still largely retail, but over time, specifically, I think in the next 6 months, we are going to see companies understand if they want to be I mean, these companies, usually the goal of a company is to be like a profitable, successful company. If these companies want a hack, if they want to benefit immensely in this very short window before Michael Saylor gobbles it all up, if these companies want to benefit from this and reserve a finite asset, instead of all of the horrible monetary or financial practices they've been participating in, which we now have the option to shy away from because of Bitcoin, if they start doing that and they start allocating to Bitcoin, this market is going higher than anybody truly understands. And truly the S-curve, the inflection point of that S-curve becomes a reality. It's now just a matter of time. That's it. We just have to wait now. Go to sleep for a couple weeks. If you have to, take a nap. This market is so spring loaded for just complete pumpage. If you want to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade, take advantage of a $30,000 deposit bonus in the description below this video. And without any further ado, that's it for me.